Hello! I wanted to make this video today because I took STEP about a week ago, exactly a week ago, and it is during a pandemic, so I just wanted to kind of talk about that today. I'm wearing my scrubs because I just got done with a little hospital tour at Cleveland Clinic. So I'm not really going to be talking about how I studied in this video, mostly just talking about the day of, because I know that sometimes it's hard to find information on the day of and I know it's really nerve-wracking. So I'm going to get started by talking about the night before. I actually was not one of those people that took the day off beforehand, only because I felt like I had so much left to learn. And it was true, I really didn't touch anatomy or embryo until the day before. So I was cramming that into my brain, and honestly it was worth it because a lot of those questions I did look at the night before, so I'm really glad that I did do that. But yeah, so I did end up studying until 12 o'clock the night before, and then I woke up at about 5 o'clock and then studied a little bit in the morning. I mostly studied sketchy in the morning because that's not as terrible. I just kind of looked at the pictures, but yeah, I was going in with about 5 hours of sleep, and I was kind of running off of adrenaline, and I kind of got that in my head because I read it somewhere on Reddit that someone did that as well, and they were running on adrenaline, and that's kind of what I did throughout undergrad, throughout pre-med. I'm still at pre-med. But yeah, that's kind of what But that is what I did throughout all of my medical school exams, so I kind of felt like I was used to it, I guess, like just kind of running off of 5 hours of sleep specifically for my exam and then running off of adrenaline. So I feel like I'm pretty equipped for that. I did, like I said, a lot of the stuff that I learned the night before. But anyways, so let's get to the day of the exam. So that morning I was kind of just hyperventilating, and then I just had some fruit and some coffee. I feel like if you have coffee, drink the coffee. I wouldn't worry too much about the bathroom breaks. You have enough. You can take 5 minutes each time. I'll talk about the breaks that I took, but I feel like you're a lot worse off if you don't drink coffee and now you have a coffee headache and blah blah. But anyways, so I had a big bowl of watermelon, and then I had my coffee, and then I was running away. So I printed out my paper and brought it, my little exam permit. They definitely didn't really need it though, because it seemed like you could just pull it up on your phone. I knew that already, but I just wanted to be prepared. But I just went in, I had my ID, they had me write my little permit number on a little thing I kept on my ID, and I waited for about 30 minutes, and even I was waiting in there for 30 minutes, but I was studying throughout. Like I had basically, and I didn't really know this, but you can keep studying throughout the time that you're there, like if you wanted to, which I highly do not recommend, but I thought that if anything they might take away your books or something. But if you still want to study within your breaks, again, that would be a little crazy to me, just because I feel like you're pretty brain dead after. I felt the fatigue around the 5th block. But anyways, we're talking about also it being COVID time. Sorry, Nico smells food, so he is barking or growling at the oven to release his food. So when it comes to COVID, I guess the main thing was just keeping your mask on the full 8 hours. I did try to, at one point I was holding my mask over my head because I just didn't really want it on my ears anymore, but they consider that not having it on, so someone came up and was like, okay, you need to keep your mask on, and I was like, okay, I'm sorry. But yeah, so just make sure that the mask that you bring is very comfortable because you are going to be wearing it for 8 hours. And also, I was a little surprised that it didn't really feel like social distancing because all of the desks were filled. So even though you were in your own little cubicle, you were right next to someone. So it didn't really feel so much like social distancing, but everyone was wearing a mask throughout the entire time, and they were watching you, so if you took your mask off, they would come, which is fine.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
And then for my breaks, I took a 5-minute break for each thing at least. I took 5, 5, 5, and then I think I took 20, and then I took 5 and 5 again. And then sometimes I didn't have enough time to do the whole checkout, check-in process because you are required to do that. And for some reason, I just typing in every time the ID number, that I feel like that also kind of took like another, even if it's another minute off of each time, it kind of just made it more and more time because you kind of had to, okay, this is you have to put in your ID number again each time you took a break. So sometimes I would just take a break for 2 minutes, but I would just be sitting at the desk and I would just kind of close my eyes and try to get ready for the next block because I feel like it's way more beneficial to at least take 2 minutes just to stop thinking. So that's what I think I did that twice. Yeah, I did that 2 times out of the 6 or 7 breaks that we get. So, but I think what really saved me was doing a ton of Euro questions because that really prepared me. At one point, what I was really scared of was how I was for my MCAT, which I had such a hard time finishing all those questions even though I had taken a bunch of like practice exams. So that's what I was worried about with step 1 was that even though I had taken practice exams, I would still get nervous and think like, oh my gosh, each question is equivalent to whether or not I get into residency. That's what I was really worried about, and it was a lot of mental. A lot of it was just making sure that you felt confident in your answers, even though you could tell what was a tricky answer. So yeah, I felt like a lot of the questions were simple. It was just a matter of trusting yourself. But definitely the fifth and sixth block, I was definitely getting fatigued. The last one, I was like, okay, this is the last one, let's go. And every block felt pretty surreal. Like while I was in it and answering the questions, it just kind of felt like answering Euro questions, like a block of Euro World. And not saying that the questions were incredibly similar. I feel like a lot of people have a lot of thoughts on the questions because some days it can be more basic, some days it can be way more like a long paragraph versus a short. I feel like I got a good mix of those questions, so it's not really helpful to say what kind of questions I got because everyone's different. But yeah, I would definitely recommend maybe some Gatorade or whatever kind of hydrates you the most, and some power bars because there really isn't enough time to have a full meal. And going outside is really good. A lot of people are able to just walk outside and just bask in the sunlight. So I brought one of those protein cookies and I brought a power bar and that's all I ate. And then within that time, I was just trying my best. Whenever I had 5 minutes, I would try my best to shove as many dumb Tik Toks into my brain. I wouldn't really check my emails or anything because you don't want to stress yourself out while you're doing that. So if you're the kind of person that's going to check your phone and like check your messages and everything, probably don't bring your phone in and just leave it in your car just because you really don't want to have something real life going on in the back of your head. So now I am just in the post-exam anxiety time. It seems like some people are getting their exam scores within 10 days, even that short. Some people are getting it in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. They say to wait a month, and then if it's past that, then freak out. But I'm only a week later, so I'm not really freaking out yet. But my school is talking a lot about step 1 because only probably 1% of my little group has taken it. So I've just been having the anxiety added to me. But overall, if you're trying to take the step 1 during COVID, the pandemic, it doesn't seem that different again, except for the little mask in the beginning. And they would like you to keep your distance. That's mostly in regards to when you're out and about, but not a lot of people are there to begin with. So, and a lot of times they want to be on their phone or in their car or something like that if they have a 15-minute break. You are mixed with just about everyone. So some people are probably taking their real estate license, their PCT license, like just anything. So you're going to be mixed with a good crowd of people. Some of them are going to be leaving way before you. Some are going to be starting way after you. I got there at 8 o'clock and I just made sure that I was all set. It was pretty relaxed. The prometric people are really great. We didn't have any crazy distractions. It's just a giant desk. You have a big computer. You have headphones to put on. I couldn't keep the headphones on the whole time. They were kind of uncomfortable, but it wasn't loud or anything. All you could hear was a little bit of typing every once in a while, but otherwise it was fine. And then you can also bring your own earphones, or your own little, I guess that's no, it's not earphones, earbuds you can put in your ears. So the actual day of the exam really isn't that bad if you just trust yourself, just trust you have the knowledge and be there on time. And in my opinion, it is good to take those breaks, even if you don't necessarily go to the bathroom or get your power bar or anything. Just make sure to take 2 minutes to just sit there with your own brain and recharge. But I'm really happy for it to be over. And if you have any questions, leave them down below. I feel like that's really all. The day of the exam is more nerve-wracking than anything, but once you leave, I was pretty brain dead, but I actually stayed in my car for about 20 minutes and was like, what now? I don't know. I don't know. And I just kept plugging things into my phone, like, where should I go now? Like, I was trying to get food, but meh. But it definitely feels good to have that little paper that said that you took step 1 and it's out of your head. Now next up is step 2, but that's not for a little while. And some people say it's harder or easier. But anyways, just get through step 1, and especially through a pandemic. But yeah, stay safe, everyone. I'll probably end up doing a score reveal because I feel like it's very helpful to have numbers so that you know whether or not to trust someone, or if maybe if I do get a terrible exam but then I end up getting a great residency, maybe you'll see later on and be like, oh, okay, so if I suck, it's fine for this one exam. This 3-digit number doesn't define me. So, yep, just go ahead and subscribe and comment and like if you would like to, so you can have more videos like this. Hey, what's up, guys? I am now a 3rd year medical student, and I took I'm